Well, friends, it's happened. The strangest combination of things I've ever seen has finally happened. Our friend Gantt has written what is described as only the fakest Neckbeard story I could ever write, which I assumed when I saw the title meant fanfiction. No, this is literally a parody of a fake Neckbeard story posted to a subreddit. We've come full circle. We've gone all the way around now. I'm excited to read this. I don't know what's gonna happen, so let's get into it and see what we got here. Again, from Gantt, this is the fakest Neckbeard story I could ever write. Here we go. Hello, friends. As a joke, I decided to write the fakest Neckbeard story I could conjure up to get back into the groove of writing since I haven't posted anything for months. Because I'm sure most of you are aware, r/Neckbeard Stories is flooded with fake stories, so I decided to make the most absurd, most obviously fake Neckbeard story to parody all of those tiresome fake posts. I'm excited to see how many like tropes we're gonna hit on with this one. In fact, to sort of add to the joke of how fake this story is, I decided to cross-post this on a multiple Neckbeard Redditors subreddits. This includes Moonhorse, Walter Fate, and Red X. Oh god! You didn't! You fucking mad lad. Oh my god. So please enjoy this completely fake Neckbeard story. Neckbeard tries to get lolly waifu at high school reunion. Gone wild, gone sexual, OMG, almost died, not clickbait. This is already great. Hello, insert famous Reddit YouTuber here. I wanted to tell you about this completely true Neckbeard encounter I had at my local high school reunion. I was almost considering not posting this, but after looking back at this insane situation, I realized I had to post it on Reddit. I was almost about to pity the poor beard, who will be the subject of the story, but after the things he did, I realized he totally deserved to be ridiculed for Reddit karma. I mean, completely morally justifiable reasons. So the beard in question went with me in high school. He was your stereotypical neckbeard, fat anime nerd wearing a stained trench coat and fedora, with beard hair so thick you could braid it into pigtails. His breath always smelled like death, his body odor somehow smelled worse, yet despite his appearance he always saw himself as an anime protagonist, sometimes wearing a Naruto headband on top of his fedora, or inserting random Japanese words into every sentence he spoke. "What do you mean you won't go out with me? You're nothing but a low-life baka." Can't believe you made me say that. He and I often butted heads with each other in our school's manga club, probably because I was the lead actor in all of our school musicals and the high school quarterback, leader of the manga club, perfect grades, and a chiseled body. It do be like that. I was even voted the most likely to succeed in our high school yearbook. As a result, I was a Chad in this beard's eyes because I was the ideal male any girl at the school would want to date. It's not my fault that I was so good-looking and talented. Heck, I could have added a couple more extracurriculars on top of my workload, but I didn't feel like exerting myself too much. Oh my god. How many of these did you read to get this down like this? As a result of my success, the beard hated my guts and would vow to become more successful than I could ever hope to be and have the entire world on a silver platter. By graduation, I got a full-ride scholarship to Harvard, while he barely met the requirements to graduate. I think he got 10 Ds on his report card. Then he went to a liberal arts campus to learn Japanese and eventually moved to Japan to get a luscious Asian wife, as he put it. Lord. So I went to Harvard, got a PhD in astrophysics, and found the subject too easy for my liking. Became a famous Hollywood actor and got myself a Malibu beach house. I even got married to my hot supermodel wife, who was the love of my life. Together we raised 2 prodigy kids that both got accepted into the most prestigious of boarding schools in America. Life was good and just kept getting better and better. One day, while looking through the mail, I found a letter sent to me from my old high school asking me to attend a reunion. At first, I wasn't going to go because I was going to be awful busy trying to solve cold fusion in my off time. But then I realized that it would be fun to find out how everybody's been doing all these years. So I decided to take a couple days off from this easy side project and give myself a break from my extremely busy schedule. We all need to take a break after all. I can't fucking get over this. I promptly jumped into my private helicopter and flew myself to the high school. I landed the copter in the middle of the football field and had my 2 loyal butlers roll out a long red carpet to the back entrance of the school. People began cheering my name as I began strutting my way to the doors in my $50,000 custom suit. Meanwhile, my butlers having to fight off the swooning public who all wanted my autograph. Soon I was in the lunchroom, having punch, catching up with old friends, the usual. When out of the doors came a reek of rotting fish and broken dreams. We all turned to look at the source, which emanated from an all-too-familiar face. It was Beardo, wearing a tattered trenchcoat and fedora. Yes, the same one from his high school days. The sight of this man made me want to vomit. It looked like the coat had been fused with his skin. I was afraid that if I touched him, I'd end up covered in a fungus like in Creep Show. The only thing that had changed was he was carrying an anime body pillow everywhere he went. Body pillow of a girl who looked barely 18. I feel I should point out, we're all in our mid-30s. As a result of how creepy he was, I shall give our Neckbeard an appropriate name, a scary name, the most infamous name known to mankind that sends shivers into the hearts of millions. We'll call him Keith. Why Keith? Keith walked into the room with the body pillow in hand. One of my high school jock friends approached him with the hand held out in front of him. What do you think you're doing here? The football player asked. I'm here to reconnect with the fair ladies of this high school, Keith proclaimed. So step off, Chad. You have some nerve coming here after the stunts you pulled in the past. It's a free country, I can go wherever I want. The jock grabbed Keith by the shirt collar and glared directly into his soul. The angst. Listen, Jock started with restrained anger. You've nearly been expelled multiple times. You're on thin ice, pal. This is your final chance. You pull one more stunt tonight, you're out of here for life. Got it? Isn't this supposed to be a reunion? Keith mumbled in agreement for calling my jock buddy a Chad. After a couple of minutes of awkward silence, we all returned to our conversations, talking about career paths, relationships, etc. I would keep an eye on Keith at all times because Keith was a little handsy with the ladies back in the day. As mentioned before, he nearly got expelled multiple times for his wildly inappropriate behavior. Drilling holes in the ladies' locker room, gluing mirrors to the bottom of his shoes, all kinds of creepy stuff, but I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's changed. Maybe traveling to Japan has taught him how to be socially acceptable, and Keith just planted his lips on the cheeks of one of the female alumni. I think a lot of people were just staring at Keith with a look of, what the fuck? Why would he ever assume what he was doing was okay? According to him, whenever he got called out for how creepy he was, he would explain that it was a cultural thing. See, according to Keith, he'd spend a lot of time being part of the JET program, teaching Japanese students English. This was because he wanted an excuse to travel to Japan and get his perfect anime waifu in the big old city of Tokyo. However, anyone who's ever been to the JET program knows you don't go to Tokyo when signing up. You end up in Farmer Village number 72. According to Keith, the village he was sent to is rather isolated to outsiders, and it's typical for the people in this village to kiss each other as a form of greeting. There are 2 problems with this explanation. 1, this is America, where such a greeting would be considered weird, especially from a socially inept neckbeard. And 2, I'm 100% there is no farming village in Japan where this happens. I even asked him what the name of this village was. He responded with, I don't think I should tell you the name. It's very difficult to pronounce. Your filthy western tongue would just butcher it. This neckbeard telling me this excuse when I can speak 40 languages fluently. However, the angry glares from the woman attending the reunion told him he would be able to talk himself out of this one. So he tried to move away from the lady that he kissed and moved on to talking to other women in the group, each one giving one-word responses before telling him to get lost. That was when Sakura walked into the building. Oh my god, here we go. Sakura was a student who immigrated from China and attended our high school. The thing about her was that she was short, roughly 5 feet at most, and had a true baby face. As a result, she looked like a teenager when she was in her mid-30s. Immediately, Keith saw her, and you could see a tiny blueberry-sized protrusion forming in his crotch. He began chanting the word "milady" over and over as he slid his way over to Sakura. Oh my god, this does read like one of those terrible fucking stories. My dear milady, I must say the stars have fated us to meet here today. Like Goku and Chi-Chi, we were meant to be together forever, for we are to conquer all unfitting enemies who dare intrude on our love, as we bring about a new world order filled with love and peace for all. Sakura stared into his face and responded, "Who are you?" "My name is Keith, but you can call me Senpai." No. Sakura proceeded to see her old high school friends, waving to her, and saw an opportunity to walk away from the situation. Keith, however, proceeded to follow her, thinking that he can wear down this milady. So, she began to talk to her friends about her career, what she'd been up to, normal conversation really. Keith would butt into the conversation and talk about the merits of hentai as an art form. Oh my god. Eventually, Sakura and her friends got tired of Keith and began walking away, but everywhere they went, he would follow. It was evident that she was not interested in him at all. But did Keith take the hint? No, like many things in his life, Sakura's statements of, "I don't like you," went in one ear and out the other. Soon, her friends disappeared into a crowd of people to get away from this neckbeard. But Keith was determined. He began scanning all possible angles of the crowd, waiting for her to exit. Suddenly, she bumped into him, and I swear to God they somehow touched lips with each other. You motherfucker, you did this just so you could make me say this. Ooh, ooh, Keith exclaimed loudly. I fucking hate you. My sweet Japanese waifu. That was an amazing kiss. You truly must love me, and don't worry. There is no need to be shy. I love you too. Your eyes are so kawaii. I'm gonna fucking die. And your butt is perfect for hentai. You were practically created by the anime gods for fitting alpha males such as myself. Keith got down on one knee and pulled out a cheap anime ring he got at a convention. Will you marry me? He practically belted these words out. Her brain began to short-circuit, not being able to handle this level of cringe all at once. Without saying a word, she just stood up and walked out of the building. He followed after her, which then prompted me to follow after the two. I knew this couldn't be good. Keith kept begging her to be his waifu, and that he would take care of her forever and ever. All she had to do was be a loving housewife and take care of their 15 Japanese children while he played video games. Bruh. She told him that that was insane. He assured her there was plenty of room in his mother's basement for such an arrangement. He then tried to grab Sakura by the arm, at which point I jumped into the air and karate chopped his arm. Not enough to slice through it. I'm a merciful man. I only used 30% of my power level to break his arm. At which point he screamed in agony. Oh my god. Two police officers then drove up to the scene, stating they heard about a smelly neckbeard causing a ruckus at our local high school, and decided to investigate. It was at that moment they saw Keith, and placed him in handcuffs. As it turned out, he was wanted by the police for breaking into the school library, hacking onto computers, and downloading 2.7 terabytes of lolicon art into the school computers. He was wanted in 7 states, and was deemed a menace to society. The police officers saw me do what I did and promptly thanked me for helping stop Keith, and began to praise me for my crime-fighting abilities. Oh my god, it is like this. A crowd gathered on the scene and saw what had happened, and when they realized that I had saved the day, everyone clapped. And the former high school football team began chanting my name, and the former cheerleaders began doing their cheer routine in my honor, and the police officers handed me out a medal from the trunk of their car with "Greatest Human to Ever Live" engraved on the medal. What the fuck? Keith glared angrily from the backseat of the police car, with hatred that could blast me all the way to Tokyo, as he gritted his teeth from his failed marriage attempt. Next time, OP! Next time! Soon the police rolled up the window and drove off to take Keith to a maximum security prison for his crimes against humanity. Sakura began thanking me so much for saving her from Keith, and told me what an awesome guy I was. She then promptly gave me her social security number and banking card because I'm that trustworthy of a guy, then asked if she could be my girlfriend. I told her no because I'm married, but told her that she would get the perfect man someday. She cried but then realized that this is how things should be, and gave me a platonic hug as the crowd once again clapped. My servants began to take me back hijacked my private helicopter and flew me back to the beach house, where I was able to solve the problem of cold fusion. Join me next time as I encounter Keith 50 more times and ends with me destroying Keith while curing cancer with my tears. Until then, peace out, my friends, and watch out for Keith. Author's note: there isn't going to be a sequel to this. This is a one-shot story, but hopefully I've hit enough check marks to the bullshit Neckbeard story meter. I mean, you fucking did. Oh my god. Oh fuck. I actually have to see if anybody else in other communities. It says that it's. I mean, obviously it was reposted in other places, so I want to see if there's any comments on these. So I'm trying to pull it up. 2 hours later. The only comments are in my own, and everybody knows, obviously, that I really was hoping somebody would believe this was real. That would be fucking amazing. Oh my god, that was fucking hilarious, Gantt chart. That hit all the fucking notes. I mean, obviously it was overblown as fuck, but that was the whole comedy of it. But that's how it is. Fake Neckbeard stories are always like, oh, Neckbeard is such a total stereotype, but I'm just the best Chad who ever was. And it's just so much of that. It's so much of that. And then there's like 50 more parts. It's like, you know, it goes on for it. There's a post somewhere that says, like, please quit writing books, because there's so many parts of other stories. And yes, it does feel like that, where there's like 50 different parts. And it just goes on and on and on. And it's like, dude, how many times? How many times? And this was fucking incredible. I enjoyed the hell out of this. Thank you so much for writing this. I love the fact that you had to put in the fake shoutouts. That was really great. Holy shit. Oh my god. If you guys enjoyed this, and I certainly hope you did, this was really funny. Make sure you, you know, do the YouTube thing. Like, comment, subscribe. I have a subreddit where this came from, r/Moonhorse stories, where you can submit your own stories, be they real or fake. I'll definitely check them out. I have a Ko-Fi and a merch store, and I'd appreciate you checking those out, but if you can't, totally understand. Every Saturday there's a live stream, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. This was really great. Okay, goodbye everybody.